Hello and welcome back to the Nerd Cave. Been a little while, but I've been busy. What can I tell you? Yeah, bit of a different one this time. It's not so much a review or a look around or anything else really. It's a little bit of a preamble towards the new Star Wars movie, which is coming out soon. Very soon. Not soon enough for my liking, but soon nonetheless. I can't wait. I don't know about you guys, but I'm really looking forward to it. Yes, I know we've been burned before with the prequel trilogy, depending on what your opinion is on that. Yes, I know we should temper ourselves and not get excited, but what can I say? I'm a Star Wars fan, have been since I was 3, which we'll talk about later on. But I thought, yeah, do a little bit of a Q&A on Star Wars, because I've been watching a few Star Wars tag videos. They're quite old, but I thought, why not? Why not do a Q&A? But first, I thought I'd show you some of the quick Star Wars rubbish that I've accumulated since I sort of been getting excited, because I've not allowed myself to get excited for quite a little while, because, you know, it's a long way away and all that kind of stuff. But I think at the end of October, I was like, right, all bets are off. It's now time for Star Wars, so Star Wars shall be excited for. So I'm going to show you a couple of things. This I actually got years ago, this little thing. It's a Mighty mug. People hate these things apparently now, but I got them when they were still cool, and obviously it is Darth Vader, so use the Force, Luke, or something like that, even though he never said that, did he? But Harry Potter, I'm sure that's what he said. But yeah, really cool. I do like it. If it wasn't Darth Vader, I don't think I'd like it as much. I did have a Han Solo one. Christ alone knows where he went, but he does have a little lightsaber, which isn't a dildo, but kind of looks like one. Still very nice, and his helmet comes off for some reason. Let me look at you with my own eyes, Harry Potter. I don't know why I keep talking about Harry Potter, very strange. But Mighty Mug, anyway, back when they were cool, they are now apparently no longer cool, which is a shame. Although if you think they're cool, please do let me know in the comments below. I'd love to know if you still think that they're cool. Speaking of sort of bobbleheady weird things, Funko, of course, have got in on the act. I could care less about a lot of them, to be fair. I do like Funkos, but the Star Wars ones I could care less about, except this one. This one had to be bought because I do like me a Stormtrooper. And this one is very nice. It is a bobblehead, which I could have maybe done without, but he does come with his own little stand, saying Star Wars on it and everything, which is very nice. But there's a nice level of detail on this guy. He does come with the little pack at the back and the little thing on the back, which I never worked out what they are. I'm sure they serve a purpose in the universe, but this is a New Hope, you can tell because he got a thinnish frown. Really nice. Do like it a lot. Very nice. Speaking of Stormtroopers, because like I say, I'm a little bit obsessed. Yes, Stormtrooper coaster had to be bought. I don't care. I like a Stormtrooper coaster. Why not? And to keep on the coaster, I have a couple of things. I have R2-D2 glass, R2-D2 pint glass. This is awesome. It's even got his little legs on the side, and of course it is full of Pepsi, so oh, it tastes all Star Warsy. Speaking of other things to keep on it, I have a mug. It's a colour changing mug, and this is how it works. Okay, so here's the kettle, here's the mug, Star Wars mug. Look, see all around it. No lightsaber handles, but no lightsabers. Star Wars on there. Tea in the cup, regulation builder's tea, obviously, even though I'm not a builder. So let's put some hot water in the old mug and see what happens. Oh, look. Here we go. Oh, look. And so forth and so on. Look around that side. Let's have a look. We have lightsabers. We got lightsabers. Oh, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you do that. So yeah, this is what the end result is. Ooh, full of steaming hot tea. And it is. It's got all the ones. So it's got Luke Skywalker, Mace Windu, Asajj Ventress, Yoda, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Count Dooku. I keep wanting to say Count Duckula. Luke Skywalker, Darth Maul's, Obi-Wan's, Anakin's other blue one, Darth Vader, Kit Fisto, and Qui-Gon. Qui-Gon Jinn. So, yes, meh. That's incredibly hot. Speaking of... Well, I was going to say speaking of R2-D2, but that's a couple of things ago. But speaking of R2-D2, though, on the other glass, we have a little R2-D2 candy dispenser. It's really cool. I do love the fact that R2's design hasn't really changed over the years. It's kind of stayed the same, and it hasn't dated. They've not felt the need to update it or anything like that because it hasn't actually dated. This thing's pretty cool because if you poke his tummy... How cool is that? How cool is that? That is incredibly cool. I wish I had some little candies to dispense. They've now gone, but I shall get some more. But every time you press the button and poke his tummy like the Pillsbury Doughboy, basically that's what happens. That is very, very cool. Finally, before we go into the questions, Hot Wheels brought out a section of Star Wars car toys, sort of die-cast, sort of matchbox car-sized toys. And of course you had to get the Millennium Falcon because the Millennium Falcon's cool. I do like this toy. It also comes with this little stand here. It doubles as a stand and you can put it on your finger if you're a child. And it goes through the sky like a spaceship would. Yes, do love it. And it's the Millennium Falcon. Really high level of detail on it if you actually look at the sculpted detail on the thing. It's amazing. It's really cool. And I do love it so. I love this next one more though because, well, we'll find out later why. TIE Fighter. You gotta love a TIE Fighter. I did not know these were supposed to be solar panels. Apparently they're solar panels. TIE Fighters are cool. Yeah. So cool. I do like a TIE Fighter. They are very cool. They're probably my favourite spaceship of all. And that's with me being a massive Doctor Who fan and loving the TARDIS as much as I do. I love these a little bit more because they make a cool sound. Even cooler than the TARDIS, I'm sorry, but they do. So TIE Fighters are very cool. More on that later. We've also got this sweet-ass Star Wars shirt, which is in 3D because of my massive belly. But it also says, these aren't the droids you're looking for. Let me get that in shot even more with my belly. There we go. These aren't the short droids you're looking for. They're for sale if you want them. Yes. Okay, that's enough of me being a big old geek and a nerd and embarrassing myself on YouTube. Let's get to the questions, shall we? Now, what I plan to do with these questions is not only answer them myself, I'm going to put them down below as well. And if you follow me on here or on Twitter or anywhere and watch this video and think, do you know what? I wouldn't mind tagging myself in this. Carry on, tag yourself in. I'd love to hear what you've got to say regarding Star Wars. Let's all nerd out together, shall we? So we'll start off with question number 1, which is, what is your favourite Star Wars movie? Favourite Star Wars movie is Empire Strikes Back. Sorry to be completely, utterly, totally, horribly predictable, but yes, it's Empire Strikes Back. The reason being is it's because of the original trilogy, of which I grew up with. That is the middle act, and the middle act is where it all goes to hell, in the words of Irving Kershner. The first one, you're setting up the universe, you're setting up the people, you're getting to know the characters. The second one is where the actual story can properly begin. And the story properly begins with the Empire batting the crap out of the rebels. It's not something you see very often these days, is that, you know, things getting really bad for a protagonist. But they do. They get essentially really horribly bad. And the situation gets really horrible for them. And they lose. They actually lose at the end. They don't win. The Empire decisively beats them, and for that reason alone, I love that movie. I think it's great that, you know, they were so brave as to make the middle. I mean, there was no guarantee that they'd get to make the third one at all. I mean, they hoped they would, but they never thought they would. If the sequel hadn't done very well, then that would have been the end of Star Wars, and we would have been left with this massive cliffhanger at the end. So, you know, good on them. But it's such a good film. There's so many good things to say about it. The cinematography is great. The imagery is great. Introduces some great characters. You do learn more about the existing characters that we have, which is great. It's just an all-round brilliant movie, and you know, well worth the tag of best Star Wars movie that it currently has for most people. I do like A New Hope. I do like Jedi. And we'll get to the prequels, but yeah, I like those as well. But for me, Empire is a quintessential Star Wars movie. Coolest planet in Star Wars? Hoth. No. Coolest planet in Star Wars? That's a difficult one. I want to say Tatooine, because that is the place where everything happens. All the important things pretty much happen on Tatooine in Star Wars. It's the place they always keep going back to whenever something sort of needs doing, whenever a plot point needs resolving, or whenever something important has to happen. So yeah, Tatooine's quite a cool one. I do like Coruscant. I think Coruscant's a great planet. It's got some great views and imagery in the films that it's in. I also like Dagobah a lot, because that's where Luke learns everything, and I like the fact that Yoda hides there because it's high in dark side energy and things like that. But I think I probably would say Tatooine's probably the coolest planet because a lot of stuff happens on Tatooine. Would I be a Jedi or a Sith? Question 3. I want to say Sith because they're kind of cool, but they're bad. And do I want to be a bad guy? Bad guys are more interesting. Any actor will tell you the bad guy is way more interesting than the good guy, because the good guy's got to play it down the middle unless they're an anti-hero. Generally the bad guys are more interesting to play, so I suppose Sith, but I think in reality I'd probably be a Jedi, because Jedis are still cool, but I want to be a Jedi like Qui-Gon rather than a Jedi like Mace Windu, sort of plays it down the middle and is always, he's not morally ambiguous, he does the right thing always, but Qui-Gon's kind of like the maverick cop who does things his own way, doesn't care what the captain thinks, you know. He's kind of like he's the Jedi version of Starsky and Hutch, isn't he? For that I really like Qui-Gon. Favourite character in Star Wars? When I was a kid, it was C-3PO, without a shadow of a doubt. C-3PO, way my favourite character. It's got to be Han Solo, hasn't it, really? The character isn't a Jedi or anything like that. I like Han Solo because out of all of them, he's the one who has the most character progression. He starts off this selfish pirate who is only in it for himself, only does what he wants to do, and that will only benefit him. By the end, he's a general in the rebel army, and he's really caring about other people behind him. So for that, I think he's my favourite character, because out of all of them, and you know, to be fair, Star Wars not a character study, but in the original trilogy, I would say Han Solo. In the prequels, I'm going to go out of all logic here, and I'm going to say Anakin. I don't dislike Anakin. I'm sorry. I know that is really unpopular. I don't dislike the guy. Alright, he's a kid, he's a bit annoying, but kids are annoying. That's what kids are. If you ignore that, in the second one, he's this frustrated guy. I can understand where Anakin's coming from in a certain way, because he keeps getting told you're the chosen one, you're the one who's going to bring balance to the Force, and then he keeps getting held back where he's saying, why? Give me a reason. And they'll never give him a reason. Oh, look within yourself. And no, I won't look within myself. I've looked within myself and you won't give me an answer. Give me a straight answer. Oh, well, when the skies are blue, then the grass is green and the wind is shaky in the east. Look into you. What are you talking about, you mentals? And I think I can understand exactly where he's coming from. Yes, he is impatient because he keeps getting fobbed off all the time. So I think that makes it easier for Palpatine to play on that and sort of say, come on, they're just frightened of your power. They're just frightened of you because you're so much better than they are. And he uses that to his advantage. It's not... Anakin can be a bit of a douche sometimes, but he's been made that way, I think, by the Jedi Council, just being that ambiguous and going around the houses that much, it just winds him up. So I think that is probably the reason why. So yeah, I would say Anakin I kind of understand him, so he's one of my favourite characters. And then Han Solo in the original trilogy, come on, let's face it. Favourite musical theme in Star Wars? There are so many to choose from because John Williams is such a great composer. A lot of people say he's derivative of Holst, and he's inspired by Holst, definitely, but I don't think he's derivative. I love Duel of the Fates. That's such a good piece of music. I love the main title theme. Who doesn't love that? Who isn't going to sit in the theatre and get chills down their spine when they first hear that, you know? But for me, the best theme in the whole of Star Wars is the Imperial March. It tells you everything you need to know about the Empire. It's awesome, it's scary, it's bad, you know, it's imposing, it's militaristic. It just tells you everything, and it's very rare that you hear in a piece of music these days, in a film, everything you need to know. I mean, you don't even need to have seen Star Wars to listen to that and think, yeah, I know pretty much what this theme is signifying. And that's the theme, sorry, that's the mark of a great composer, and I think John Williams has certainly earned that over the years. Coolest battle in Star Wars. The coolest battle in Star Wars, without a shadow of a doubt, is on Hoth with the Imperial Walkers and the Snowspeeders. It's amazing. All the lightsaber battles in the world couldn't compete with that for me. Reason being is that the old lightsaber battles are very, you know, plodding and slow, and because Luke's a learner and Darth Vader's old, you know, this is the reason why. In the original trilogy, there's in the prequel trilogy, there's far too many of them, in my opinion. There's far too many of them, and by the end, they're going on for too long. The one between Vader and Kenobi at the end of Revenge of the Sith just goes on way too long for me. So I get a bit sick of them. So I do like lightsaber battles, I really do, don't get me wrong, but I think my favourite actual battle in Star Wars, that would be the one. That would be my favourite battle, because the walkers, the AT-ATs are so cool and scary. When you're a little kid, they are scary things to see. And the Snowspeeders, you know, just the fact that they haven't got a chance against them, but they still fight them anyway. I think it's a cool battle, and snow is always a cool backdrop, I think. It's not very often you see Arctic battle in films, but you're doing that, and I think it's really, really cool. Favourite ship? Favourite baddie guy ship? I do like me a TIE Fighter, the old twin iron engines. Yes, I know. Like I said, I didn't realise these were supposed to be solar panels. That's cool. I just like the fact that there's so many of them and so many different types, and it was a great computer game. That was a brilliant computer game. Why have they not made that widely available? I know it's on Steam. I'm talking about for people who aren't proper PC gamers and don't want to download things like Steam and things like that. Why have LucasArts not brought that out again in a modern format? That would be so cool, and I would eat that shit up all day, and like, it's so brilliant. Favourite good guy ship is that, obviously, the old burger with an Oliver hanging off the end of it, because it's so cool. I do like it. Favourite line of dialogue? There's so many. I like a lot of Vader's dialogue, purely and simply because it's just delivered so nicely by James Earl Jones. You know, you are part of the Rebel Alliance and a traitor, take her away. That kind of thing, you know. If this is a consular ship, then where is the ambassador? What? That's my favourite. That's probably my favourite. What? Apart from that, I have a bad feeling about this because it's in every movie. You know, I've got a bad feeling about this. I have a real bad feeling. And one of my other favourite is, that's no moon, that's a space station. Any line that's delivered by Alec Guinness, there you go. Any line that's delivered by Alec Guinness, because talk about gravitas. A lot of the acting in Star Wars can be described as ropey. I don't care what anybody says, it's not great, some of it. I'm not talking from the lead so much, I'm talking about from everybody else. It's not great. But Alec Guinness is just sort of immediately the best actor in any room that he's in. So to have him there is just, you can believe without a shadow of a doubt everything he's saying. And that's brilliant, I do love that. So yeah, any line of dialogue that's uttered by Alec Guinness. What do I think of the prequel trilogy? Well, I've briefly talked about that. I don't mind the prequel trilogy. I understand that it's something different than the original trilogy. I understand that it's a story that's really about Anakin Skywalker and his fall from grace. I understand that it's not going to be the same as what you've seen previously. There are problems. Let's face it, there are problems. Some of the acting isn't great. Some of the lines of dialogue aren't brilliant. Some of the special effects are a bit ropey now because they didn't favour practical effects. They favoured computer for a lot of it. And I can see though. I've just literally watched Phantom Menace this morning, and yes, I understand that a lot of people, taxation in the galaxy. How's that? You've got to think of it as more a political drama than Star Wars, or a political drama within the Star Wars universe. We're talking, the thing you can the thing you can sort of analogue it against is something like House of Cards. If you put Palpatine and replace him with Francis Urquhart, it's really that. It's Francis Urquhart, it's House of Cards, it's political manoeuvring. It's how this guy decides to get power by any means necessary and does it politically rather than grabbing it and sort of taking it. And, it's the way that it would happen in reality. It's the way Hitler did it. It's the way Stalin did it. It's the way that even people like Trotsky would have tried doing it. And any other political dictators. Very rare you have a massive coup and then, I'm in power now. Generally, it is insidiously like that. So I kind of, that's how you should regard them. That's how you should go in thinking about them rather than thinking of them as Star Wars battles all the time. It is a lot of political manoeuvring. So I don't mind them. And like I say, I can understand Anakin's point of view. I love Qui-Gon Jinn as a character in the first one. I like Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan. I think he did a really good job. I think they were directed okay. They could have been directed by a better person, because I don't think George Lucas is the best director in the world by any stretch of the imagination. But at that point, I think he wanted to make the films he wanted to make, and he didn't want anybody else to do it. Because last time he nearly gave him a heart attack in the original trilogy. So I think this time, because of the power that he had at that point, he could make the films he wanted to make and score everybody else. But is he the best director? No, I don't think so. Will JJ do a better job? I probably think he will do. But that's fine. I still don't mind the prequels. I understand, especially a lot of people grew up with those prequels, and for them, that is going to be their Star Wars. The late films are going to be something different for them. But yeah, there you go. I don't mind them. I don't mind them. Lightsaber or blaster? Let me retort by saying it's an elegant weapon, not as clumsy or random as a blaster. It's a more elegant weapon from a more civilized age. Do I own any Star Wars video games? Kind of is the answer to that one. I have a couple of emulators. One of them is a SNES emulator, and for that I have all the Star Wars games that are on that. What I want is a MAME emulator that bloody well works, so I can have the Atari Star Wars video game with the Vector Line graphics one from 1982, 83. I love that fucking thing. I can remember as a kid being taken to Bridlington, and that's the only thing I wanted to do in Bridlington, because I knew there was a sit-down cabinet, which is the best kind of cabinet in my opinion, and playing that stuff all day long, just the force will be with you always, and because it had synthesized speech on it and everything, and it sounded, you could hear R2-D2 and go in the trench, and it was the best. Can't find a MAME emulator that'll work. If anybody can recommend one that might work or help me out by setting one up and showing me how to do it, then great, because I would love to play that again, because the only version I've got is the Spectrum version, which no sound, which isn't much good. But other than that, I have all the Super Star Wars and the Super Empire Strikes Back and Jedi, and they are hard games to play. I'm getting a bit better at them, but they are difficult games to play. Favourite Star Wars scene? Trench from Star Wars, or New Hope, or whatever you want to call it these days. That's my favourite, purely because it's, to this day, I've seen this film a million times, but to this day I still get my heart in my mouth thinking, are they going to do it? Are they going to do it? Of course they're going to do it, you idiot. It's been filmed like 40 years ago, but I still think, they're not going to do it. They're going to fail. I still get really I have you now. And, you know, again, the Falcon swooping in and Vader going, what? God love it. I love that scene so much. Which outfit do you wish you had in your closet? Stormtrooper. Simple as that. Stormtrooper. I'd love to have a Stormtrooper outfit. I know you can make them in kits. I think I might be a bit porky to be a Stormtrooper, so I think that dream might have to go awry until I can lose a bit of weight. But yeah, Stormtrooper, that would be so cool. Character you would want to marry? Leia. Not slave Leia. No. Endor Leia. But Leia in general. Admittedly, as a straight man, you've not got a lot to sort of pick in the Star Wars universe, apart from Mon Mothma, maybe, or Padme, who's a bit annoying. But Leia, definitely. She's a strong-willed woman. She's a badass. She would kick your ass as soon as look at you. You're not going to get away with much in the relationship with Leia, but she's very loyal and she will sort of stick by you, and, you know, she would fight for you. I mean, she fights for Han Solo. You know, she's prepared to get right in Jabba's palace and then try and rescue him pretty much single-handed at one point. So, you know, you'd want Leia on your side. So I suppose Leia. Character you would want as your sidekick? Lando Calrissian. And not sidekick, partner, because he would have your back. I know he betrays Han, but think about it. He betrays Han to save his people, because his people are important to him. He wants to take care of him. He wants to make sure that they don't get hurt by the Empire. He's not doing it for selfish reasons. So you'd want someone like that on your side. Someone who's, you know, going to be loyal and sort of have your back. And if he feels like he is looking after you, if he feels that he's got your best interest at heart, he's always going to do the right thing and help you out. So Lando is the guy you want at your side there. Or Chewie. Because Chewie is going to kick anybody's ass for you, isn't he? Come on, let's face it. Favourite villain? Oh, that's a difficult one. Because everybody would want to say Vader, because Vader's a badass, but I really like Palpatine. I really like Palpatine. He's such a dick. And that's what I like in a villain. I like the capacity of dickness. And he is a purebred dickhole, is that guy. There's nothing about him that isn't dickish. You know, throughout the whole film, he's the only character that doesn't change at all. Nothing that happens in those films has any effect on him. Yeah, he changes physically, but he was as much a dick inside that he was at the start of the thing that he was at the end. So I quite like him. And I do like him at the end. Oh, I'm afraid your friends will find... I love that whole stuff. Only now, at the end, do you realise... Such a twat. He's such a twat. And I really like him because of it. What colour would your lightsaber colour be? Green. I like the green ones. I don't know why. I just think they look cool. Blue, it's alright. Red, I mean, you're a Sith, and I already said that. Probably I would be Jedi. Purple, that's Samuel L. Jackson's colour. I could never have one purple. Green would be the best one. I've seen black white ones, which is pretty cool, I suppose, but green. I like green for Jedi. That's the colour. Padme or Leia? Leia. For reasons I've already stated. Padme's slightly annoying. I don't know why, and I feel a bit sad about it, because she doesn't do anything particularly wrong. Padme throughout the whole of the Phantom Menace is a pretty cool character, and she, again, is a bit of a badass. You can see where Leia gets it from. But I think it's the whole dying of a broken heart thing, kind of. You couldn't count on her. If something went really wrong, she'd probably just die. Whereas Leia just kick that person's ass and carry on. So, yeah, Leia. What are your thoughts on the new films coming out? Well, I can't wait. I love J.J. Abrams. I think he's a great director. Not everything he's done I've been a fan of. Don't really like Lost. Didn't like Cloverfield at all. I thought it was a terrible movie. So not everything he's done I thought was great, but I loved his take on Star Trek. I loved Alias when he did Alias. And he's a massive Star Wars fan. You see, he revolutionised Star Trek for me. He made it watchable. Not a Trek fan by any stretch of the imagination. He made it so that I could watch Trek. And he did a really good job at sort of modernising it. So if he didn't care about Trek, he's not really a Star Trek fan. So if he can do that with Star Trek and not care about it, what's he going to do with Star Wars? It's going to be amazing. And all the trailers and all the TV spots that I've currently seen don't dissuade me from that fact. He's going to do a brilliant job, and I can't honestly wait. It's going to be epic. Who do I want to tag in this video? Everybody who follows me, everybody who does videos, that watches me, that you know, decides they want to do it. I would love to see what you think about Star Wars. If you like it, if you hate it. If you hate it, probably don't bother. It might be a short video. But if you like Star Wars, please do a video. I would love to see your thoughts on everything, and I would like to hear you answer the questions. I'll leave them down below. Obviously, any comments you've got on anything I've said, obviously keep it civil, but you know, let's have a bit of a discussion. If you agree with me, if you don't agree with me, I'm on Facebook and Twitter, so obviously go on there as well. Yeah, I should be back with a video not too long, hopefully, in the next couple of weeks. But for now, this is me, Nerd Cave Cymru, signing off. May the Force be with you.